안녕 여러분, 잘 지내? 오늘 구름은 흐르는데 너무 추워졌어요. 너무 추워서 세터 입고 있어. 오늘 아침에 한국어 시험 봤는데 너무 어려워. 나는 나쁜 학생. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about something that I've gotten a lot of messages over. So I just thought I'd make a video about it because I feel like it would benefit at least some people. I just wanted to talk a little bit about how I learn dances, my process and things like that. Basically, I'll try to make this video as short as possible. The first thing I do is I try to obviously find a dance that's my style. So I don't see a dance and say, wow, that's a really cool dance, I'm going to do it without thinking, okay, can I do this dance, you know? Like, there's certain dances where I know I look at it and I'm just like, nope, I can't do that. Like, a good example would be BTS, We Are Bulletproof. I mean, the only way I could probably do that dance is if I, like, was taught in a class, like, really rigorously. Like, it's not something that I could see myself learning off the computer. So just know your limits for the time being. I mean, obviously you can grow and get better, but don't try something too hard right off the bat because then you'll just become really frustrated and not want to do it. Try to do a dance that you like. Like, you like the dance, you like the song. Because if you try to do a dance and a song that you're not particularly fond of, you're not going to really feel it, you know? So what I do when it comes down to the process, let's say you've picked your dance and you're ready to do it. What I do when I first decide on a dance to learn is I go to a like a mirrored dance practice version or a mirrored dance compilation or the mirrored dance music video. So the best thing is a dance practice where it's just one shot. It doesn't cut away at all. It's just one steady shot showing the dance. But that's not always the case. You don't always have that when you're learning a dance. But if you do have it, it is the absolute best thing to use for most people. I do know a few people that can't really learn off of mirrored versions. Actually, Vince, you guys know Vince, the one that I went to Korea with and performed with, he and I were talking and he was talking about how he can't learn off of mirrored versions, and I thought that was really interesting and asked him what he does then, and he said he just watches the regular versions but flips them over in his mind, and I was just like, how? I don't know, but that's what he does. So you have to like kind of try different things to see what works best for you. But for me, mirrored versions, which basically means like you're playing just dance. Like you're looking at the screen, and as you're looking at the screen, they lift up their hand this way, you lift up this hand. So it's like they are like, I'm gonna turn around completely. They're lifting up this hand, like looking at you on the screen, which means that you'd be lifting up this hand. Does that make sense? You're just following exactly what they're doing, like, as if you're like looking into a mirror of yourself, you know? So a lot of people were asking like what a mirrored version is compared to like a regular version. It's the same dance, it's just horizontally flipped.
과장하지 말라고 과장이면 좋겠어 제발 노래 가사라고 생각하지 말고 내만 있는 그대로 믿어줘 아과서 기침 과장하지 말라고 과장이면 좋겠어 제발 노래 가사라고 생각하지 말고 내만 있는 그대로 믿어줘 아과서 기침.
Because if you follow it regularly, then you're gonna have to dance backwards. I hope that makes sense. After you find a mirrored version, let it play at regular speed, and I just just exactly like Just Dance. I try to follow the moves just like Just Dance, and I'm a little bit behind because, you know, I'm watching and trying to dance at the same time, so that's okay. If you're behind, if you're confused, if you're like, oh my gosh, that move was crazy, and then you're just like, it's fine. It's gonna look like that in the beginning for everyone. It definitely does for me, I promise. But I'd usually do that like 2 or 3 times, go through it, just so I know kind of in my head like what move is gonna come next-ish, even though I don't know the move yet. I know like what it looks like. My body just can't do it yet. So I do that a couple times, and then after that, if it's a really fast dance, I find a slowed down mirrored version, which you can find all over YouTube, like 50% slowed down or just like, you know, mirrored plus slow version of a dance practice. It's perfect. So I usually just try to find that, and then I follow that for like the really intricate or fast parts that I can't catch with like the regular fast version. So I'll learn just like maybe an 8 count or 2, and then keep doing that over and over and over and over until I got it down, and then I move on to the next 8 count or 2. So I don't try to learn a lot at once, you know, just bit by bit by bit. Another way you can learn it, it's much less common, I'd say, on YouTube to find these kind of videos, but they're actually the way that I first started learning back in like 2011 when I first got into K-pop dance. And the name of the channel is escaping my mind right now, but I'm sure it's probably listed down here at this point because I've probably typed it in. I have a lot of tutorials where the person dancing has their back faced to the camera, so it's like you're standing behind them in a class learning a dance, and that really helps me because that's how I learned dances my whole life. So that's probably the most helpful way, but it's just so limited because there's just not very many dances like that, you know, that they have on that channel. But anyway, check it out, see if you want to start that way. It does help. After you do it in small segments like that, you can start putting the small segments together. So I just repeatedly, like, I have my cursor on a certain time in the song, and I just repeatedly keep going back, and then I dance, and then I hit it, and then I dance, and it's just like constant. Like, I don't take a break until I know probably like a minute of the dance. So you really have to keep on it. You can't be like, oh my gosh, I can't do this, I give up, I can't. You cannot give up. I can tell you right now, the #1 time that I wanted to give up was when I learned Hyunsung's solo part for Shock. Oh my gosh, because I had to perform that in front of people, and so Gina actually helped me a lot learning that because I was ready to just be like, you can do that, I'm not gonna do it because I can't figure it out. You can't give up, because now I can do that move that I thought was so difficult before with ease. Same with Beast's, freaking Beast, Fiction. The Fiction dance with the feet. I spent a half hour in front of my computer watching a tutorial on how to do the feet for that, and I did not give up until I got it. And the times where I didn't give up until I got something are the times where I felt the absolute best about what I achieved. So if you half-ass something, you're not going to feel so great about it, but if you sit there and get frustrated and angry and you're like, no, I'm going to stay here and I'm going to get it, that's when you have a really good dance cover. Because it will get frustrating at some points. It's not gonna always be easy. It's not. I wish I could say it was, but it's not. So after I know the dance pretty well, I tried to do it without looking at the computer at all. So I'll go into like the other side of the room and I'll just listen to the music and I'll just start dancing it. So I just kind of graduate from one step to another by, like, you know, doing it, watching it slow mirrored, doing it along with it, doing little segments, and then doing it without looking at it, kind of like taking off the training wheels kind of thing. It's so weird that I'm gonna say this, but you don't need a mirror. You don't need a mirror. A mirror is helpful, but you do not need one. So some people might think that, like, dancing in the room, it's not gonna do anything because they don't have like a studio, it doesn't matter. For the first, I mean, up until recently, so recently, like a year ago, maybe less, I was dancing in my room. I was learning it in my room on carpet, just looking at my computer with no mirror at all. So you don't need one. There's dances where I've actually practiced and then recorded and had never ever once looked into a mirror while practicing it. So you don't need one, but it does benefit you, especially if you're doing a group dance, to have a mirror. But don't let that stop you if you don't have one, okay? So the main point, I mean literally the main thing I want to get across in this video, if you get anything out of this video, please, please, please have fun. I can't tell you how much, if I see somebody smiling and having fun while dancing, even if their technique isn't that good yet, even if they're not hitting the exact perfect sharp moves, if they're smiling and I can tell that they're having fun, I will subscribe to them and I will comment and I will be very happy to watch their videos, because you don't want to watch somebody who looks bored yet is perfectly technically correct compared to somebody who's got some personality and happiness and like feeling behind their dance who might not be perfect yet, because I mean, isn't that just natural? Like, you want to watch somebody who's happy, makes you happy, right? So if there's swag in that dance, show swag. If there's sexiness, show sexiness. If there's aegyo, show it. It really, really, really does matter. I'm telling you, it sets you apart. In my book, at least. So I think that's all I have to say for now. I hope this helped a little bit because people were even confused about, you know, what is a mirrored version, etc. So, wow, my bacon's burning again. Okay, Jaga. Bye, guys.